get you at this light here. I apologize, but you look beautiful.
Thank you.
And let's start off with your name and spelling, please.
Roger Moog, M-O-O-G.
And you represent anybody in special as an organization?
I'm on the board of the Aviation Council of Pennsylvania, and up to 2 weeks ago, I was the manager of airport planning at the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission.
No, that's fine. Oh, excuse me.
Okay. And your position on the keeping or getting rid of the airfield?
I believe that the airfield should be retained as a airport for corporate usage only, and that this is very beneficial to the economic base of the region, Bucks and Montgomery County. And we have a real deficiency in that area of the region for corporate aviation, and this type of facility will bring in corporations to the Horsham area.
Now, would that still keep the base tax-free?
Part of the base could be developed in any way that they wanted to, and that would be tax revenue related. The jobs that came in because of the airport would also pay taxes there.
Okay, now this would be all private and corporate jets, correct?
Private and corporate jets, right. I don't know, there might be some government-related aircraft based there also. That's been proposed.
But you wouldn't get any commercial flyers?
No commercial aviation of any kind, passenger aviation, no commercial freight aviation of any kind.
Would you shorten the runway? Because basically now it's almost the full length of the base.
Well, yeah, the runway is 8,000 feet now. That's longer than is needed for most corporate aircraft. They would be able to take off and be out of there before they got anywhere near the end of the runway. So in essence, the runway would be shorter by the usage of it. Whether or not we would go down to 7,000 feet is a decision I couldn't make, but the airport would still be functional at 7,000 feet as a corporate airport. If you look around the area, the other airport with a runway that length is Northeast Philadelphia. That's quite a bit ways away. And then you go down to Chester County is the only other decent-sized airport, and that's 5,400 feet, which is big enough for some corporate aircraft, but not for all.
How would you deal with potential safety concerns?
Safety concerns are dealt with through the safety areas that now exist at the airport, and the use of the aircraft that are going to use this runway under this scenario don't need that length of runway, so you have a built-in safety margin there.
Okay.
What do you think your chances of succeeding here?
30%.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot of certainly people of Horsham have the parochial interest of their township at heart, and I understand that completely. I'm approaching this from a regional jobs and economic development point of view, and that's really what my job was, to look at things from a regional facilities network point of view, and that's why we think this facility is very important. Also keep in mind, the runway can be used and the airport can be started up relatively short time. If you redevelop the land completely, you have to tear up the runway and mitigate all the environmental issues underneath that runway. You may be there with vacant 1,000 acres of land for years.
Now, a lot of people might say that Wings Field isn't that far away, and some commercial.
Well, Wings Field has, I think, 3,800 feet length runway. That's half of what we're talking about at Willow Road. The largest corporate aircraft that could use wings is a small Learjet with maybe 5 or 6 passengers. And so that's not really the same thing as the corporate aircraft that would use Willow Grove. So they're not interchangeable.
Quick thumbnail, upside, downside of keeping this airfield.
Upside, downside. Well, I really don't, from my perspective, I don't see much of a downside. The aircraft level of usage would be about a third, perhaps, in 20 years of what the military usage was. The aircraft type would be quieter, smaller aircraft than the fighter jets and the freighters that the military used to bring in there. So I see that as the downside is probably that people that are interested in developing the land or the surrounding land to the airport in different ways are not going to do that. And the impacts on the revenue for Horsham Township is yet to be determined, I think, in both of these cases. So hard to say how it's going to work out for sure.
Okay, and one more time.